All right, welcome back, everyone, or welcome to NizCast if this is the first time you've been here. I, of course, am Niz. I'm going to be your host for tonight. But we're casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup. We've just started the group stage. We're actually our second game of the night. Our first game was between Summoner's Rift and Pain Gaming. This game will be between Pain, once again. But they're going to be going up against Leviathan. And the way this tournament works is, well, we're in the group stage. We've got 4 groups, 4 teams per group. So we've already saw Summoner's Rift and Pain Gaming. We're going to see Pain Gaming again. Leviathan, and the 4th team is Isurus, which we're going to see a little bit later on in the night. So we've got every team in the group plays each other once. So we've got 6 games in total. Top 2 teams in the group advance to the next round, which is the playoffs. Bottom 2 are sent packing. So they're out of the tournament, so it's all about finishing in that top 2. What's really, really, really important about this game is, well, I'd say these are the 2 teams that are kind of going to be jockeying for second or third in the group. So this is an incredibly important game between the 2 of them. I think Summoner's Rift most likely is going to take first in the group. They did win the Canada Cup last time around, so you can kind of expect them to potentially take the group this time around. Isurus hasn't really been having the best performances as of late, so I believe it's going to be between Leviathan and Pain Gaming. Of course, Pain already lost their first match against Summoner's Rift, so this is a very, very important game for them. Took a look at Dota 2 Lounge to see what everyone else thinks about it. 53% are in favor of Leviathan, 47% in favor of Pain, so it's even close when you're betting your Bugattis, or your Tangos, or your Rares, or whatever you want to call them. Either way, this is going to be a close one. I do want to clarify one thing. I'm not the official channel for Dota 2 Canada Cup. If you want to find that, that's at twitch.tv /Dota 2 Canada Cup. That's their official channel. They've got a lot more viewers than me, and rightfully so. They're the one hosting the tournament, so definitely go check them out. But yeah, I'm just doing this to get a little bit of practice, and hopefully some people can enjoy that a little bit with me. Or maybe you're just going back and watching the VODs on YouTube after. That's cool too. But we do have a game to cast here. So one thing I do want to point out about these 2 teams is we saw Pain Gaming last time around. We didn't really get to see Tavo do too much. He was always kind of on the defensive with the Tidehunter. It looks like this game he's going to be playing the Bat Rider, so still, you know, he's going to be able to do a little bit more, but not on that kind of really micro-intensive hero that he's really capable of playing. They pick Beastmaster a lot for him. They also pick offlane Enigma. This team really really loves Enigma, but well, we haven't seen it thus far, so maybe we'll see it this time around. As for Leviathan, these guys are awesome. I absolutely love Leviathan as a team. They've actually recently moved into a team house together in Florida, and they've been really working hard to get better. But if you know anything about the amateur Dota 2 scene in North America, and specifically Leviathan, you'd know that Leviathan and Boreal are the 2 original troll pickers. They were picking troll well before he was in the meta. And, well, we're seeing them pick him up here again, so look for some big things coming out from their troll warlord this time around. Most likely that's going to be getting played by Shredder in the safe lane. But besides that, Leviathan, they're definitely no strangers to unusual picks. We haven't seen one yet, but yeah, they pick some weird stuff. Jenkins, he's their offlane player. He's a big Pudge picker, or Pudge player. They pick him a lot for him, so don't be surprised if you see a Pudge ban come out. Although we haven't seen one yet. Besides that, Leviathan recently, they played a support Veno. They've played a carry Wraith King. They love playing Morphling in the safe lane. Some really unusual picks for sure come out from them. But let's catch up in the draft here. We've got an Earthshaker, Sniper, Phantom Lancer, interesting, and Zeus getting banned out by Leviathan. Chen, Wisp, Queen of Pain, and Storm Spirit were banned out by Pain Gaming, so maybe they did a little bit of research as well. Leviathan loves playing Queen of Pain as well. That's another hero that they like putting in the off lane on Jenkins, but at the same time, they can run it in the mid lane for Shibby.
10 seconds remaining.
So they banned that out. And then they also picked up the Lina. Interesting.
5
So we've got
remaining.
Troll Warlord and Vengeful Spirit were the picks for Leviathan. 2 heroes that they pretty much pick and play a lot.
Reserve time.
Pain picked up the Bat Rider and the Lion. Once again, 2 heroes that they actually play a lot. Lina, I can't say that in my research I saw them play Lina too much. So I'm not sure if they really like putting that in the mid lane, or maybe they like playing it as a support or whatnot.
Radiant
But Leviathan, there we go, throwing out the Spirit Breaker. Not that unusual of a pick, but typically when they do play that Spirit Breaker, it is support. But who knows? They may throw it on Jenkins. You never know with Leviathan. They always make it exciting and interesting when it comes to their drafts. They're probably the team with, I'd say, the largest hero pool that they're capable of playing. And it's not that the other teams aren't capable of playing a wide variety of heroes, but Leviathan, they just feel like picking whatever. You know, there's like, you know what, this hero probably is going to be the best. Let's just pick it and let's play it and let's just go with it. And because they're used to playing like that, they're used to playing with a ton of different and really unusual lineups. Well, Pain, they have, well, we don't know what that Lina is. It could be support, it could be mid, but they've got their Lion and their Bat Rider, and that gives you a pretty damn good core setup right there. But when you add the Lina onto it, you now have 2 really strong sources of burst damage, a good way to remove someone from the fight immediately starting off. And of course, with Bat Rider Lasso, you can also just remove someone from the fight. So you've got the burst damage to be able to bring that target down once he's pulled out of position. They've got a really solid foundation for their team thus far. And I'm really interested to see what they're going to pick up with their next pick here. It's going to be a Viper. Okay, so that makes me believe that Lina is indeed support. They could be doing like some safe lane farming on the Lina, or they could go aggro with the Viper. I don't think that's going to be the case. Most likely it is going to be a support Lina. So we're going to have Lion and Lina as a support duo. And that's a lot of damage coming out from your supports. And Viper on top of that, he's going to be a menace in the mid lane. I actually don't know too well the matchup between Viper and Troll. I think Viper would do quite well against Troll, but Troll typically doesn't really lose mid all that often. Leviathan, when they were running Troll in the mid lane, he did quite well, but then they ended up switching him to the off lane. And this goes back a long time ago, back when I was playing against these guys, and which isn't really that long ago, but and then they ended up switching to basically running him in the safe lane pretty much all the time. So we're not going to see Troll in the mid lane going up against the Viper, but that does somewhat limit Leviathan's picks going forward. They will pick up a Clockwork though for the off lane, so that is indeed a Spirit Breaker support. And now Pain will have to look to ban out a mid hero. Unless maybe they think that Troll's going to be mid. We'll have to wait and see what they choose to ban out. But I should mention that there is an in-game ticket for this tournament. It is $8.99 American. I don't even know what that converts to in Canadian, besides the fact, or despite the fact that I am Canadian and I bought it in Canadian dollars on Steam. But it's $8.99 American. It's $9 whatever Canadian. But that gives you obviously the ticket to watch in game. It also gives you a Sven set, like a custom Sven set, which is pretty cool. Some people are not the biggest fans of it, but pretty cool.
Team ban.
Besides that, it also contributes 12.5%. 12.5% of that ticket purchase also goes towards the prize pool. So I believe that's up at, I just checked before this game and I wrote it down and I don't know where I put the piece of paper. Help. It's like 11,000. I'll just check right now. This is ridiculous. This is something I should know. $11,234 is what the prize pool's at right now. So go check that out. But yeah, we've got our bans done here. Pain Gaming banned out the Shadow Fiend. So they know Leviathan likes running that Troll in the safe lane, and Dazzle was the ban for Leviathan.
10 seconds
now Pain Gaming, they've got to make up their mind what they're going to pick here.
5
Looks
seconds
like they're
remaining.
looking for a safe lane hero that they're going to choose to go up against a troll warlord, but
Reserve time.
oof. That's going to be a tough pick because you don't know what the mid's going to be. You don't even know. Like, maybe they could just throw the troll in the safe or in the mid lane. You never know with Leviathan, and Luna
Dire
is going to be the
team
pick for Pain Gaming. So they really like this Luna. We saw them pick it last game. Didn't really work out for them all that much. But they're going to go with it here again. So it looks like it's going to be Bat Rider in the off lane, Lion, Lina, and Luna. That's going to be difficult to say in the game. Lion, Lina, and Luna going to be in the safe lane, and Viper's going to be in the mid lane. For Leviathan, looks like it's going to be Clockwork in the off lane.
10 seconds
Vengeful
remaining.
Spirit, Spirit Breaker, and Troll Warlord in the safe lane,
5
and we're
seconds
awaiting their
remaining.
final pick to decide who they're going to put in the mid lane to go up against that Viper.
Reserve time.
I'm trying to think of what they can put mid that they typically like playing to go up against that Viper, and most of those heroes are banned out. I don't know.
10 seconds
Well,
remaining.
we're gonna find out in 10 seconds as they're almost out of reserve time
5
here.
seconds remaining.
Like I said, this is an incredibly important game. It's going to be a Wind Ranger. Incredibly important game for the group stage, as I have a feeling whoever wins this game is most likely going to, barring any upsets, is most likely going to advance to the playoffs, and the team that loses is probably going to be out. Of course, we do have 4 more games to play in the group after this, before that's all decided, but like I said, I have a feeling these are the 2 teams that are kind of going to be jockeying for second or third in the group stage. So this is going to be a very, very important one. Of course, covered a little bit of what Pain Gaming did last Canada Cup. They finished third in their group, so they didn't make it through to the playoffs. They were 1 and 2 overall. Leviathan did make it through. They finished second in their group, 2 and 1. They lost to, of course, Complexity that went undefeated in their group. But unfortunately, Leviathan did get knocked out in the
Prepare
first
for
round.
battle.
To Void Boys, which they did take a game off of. It was 2-1, so it was kind of close in that respect. But let's introduce the teams and the players before we get too far on into this. On the Radiant side, we have Team Pain Gaming. Playing their Lion's going to be Baga. Playing the Bat Rider is going to be Tavo. Playing the Lina is going to be King RD. He's was making some pretty big plays on the Lion last game, but he's going to be on the Lina this time around. 40R is going to be on the Luna once again, and the stand-in soon is he's going to be playing the Viper. I believe he is standing in for HFN. I don't think they've actually changed their roster, but I could be wrong on that. As for our Dire side, we've got Team Leviathan. We've got
30
Flying
seconds to
Zebra
battle.
playing the Vengeful Spirit. We've got Nusham on the Spirit Breaker. Shibi's going to be taking control of that Wind Ranger. And Shredder once again on that Troll Warlord. I have no idea how many times he's played this hero, but I know it's a lot. And in the off lane, we've got Jenkins. Look for some crazy plays coming out from him. He's a little bit of a crazy player when it comes to not only hero picks, but a little bit of his play style as well. Looks like Pain Gaming once again really taking... really wanting to take control of that top rune. They will get it this time around. Leviathan not contesting it, as they'll just kind of back away from the top rune and take the bottom rune instead. But as for our lane matchups, it will be Viper up against the Wind Ranger in the mid lane. Bottom lane is going to be Clockwork, but he's not going to be up against the Tri lane. He's going to be up against the Bat Rider, so this should be a win for the Bat Rider. As Pain Gaming elected to go for an aggressive tri-lane. It's going to be a Luna, Lina, and Lion tri-lane going up against the Troll Warlord, Spirit Breaker, and eventually, as Flying Zebra makes his way on up here, the Vengeful Spirit.
Not on my watch.
And looking at this, first glance, I'd have to say Pain Gaming came out ahead when it comes to laning right now, as this is a very, very scary tri-lane that they have right now. And of course, when you're going up against a tri-lane that has Spirit Breaker in it, it's going to be pretty weak. So Pain Gaming looking like they're ahead not only in this tri-lane versus tri-lane matchup, but also in the safe lane where they've got a Bat Rider against Clock, so Bat Rider typically wins that matchup as well. As for the mid lane, honestly, I think this lane's going to be a little bit of a wash. Wind Ranger can do quite well in this lane, but it should be relatively even. So overall, Pain definitely looking pretty good to start this game off. I should get into a little bit more about why this aggressive tri-lane is so strong. Luna with her aura, see, she picked up Lunar Blessing at level 1, so she doesn't even have her Lucent Beam available to her yet, but that Lunar Blessing, 14 bonus damage to everyone in her lane, and that means those right clicks, which do a substantial amount of the damage in this early game, are going to be hitting that much harder, and that means when you look for those trades, those right-click trades, you're going to be way out ahead. Nusham getting his charge off onto King RD. Flying Zebra's there as well, but they will back away. They were just trying to secure this top rune, which was a regen, but they'll just wait for Shibby to come on up and take that, as he's lost a little bit of HP, but for the most part, he just needed to replenish his mana pool. As for the bottom lane, looks like Tavo has actually used quite a bit of his mana, burning through some of the regen of Jenkins, but Jenkins actually has quite a bit going for him as well. He still has 3 tangos, a healing salve, and 10 charges on his magic stick. So it looks like he's doing perfectly fine when it comes to regen. He does have a sentry ward kind of dropped by the tower, so not revealing that, but also didn't really have any space for it anymore, as he just picked up his boots of speed. As for mid lane, how's it going? Is it still even? Yeah, pretty much. 13-4 is the CS for the Wind Ranger, 12-6 for the Viper. So Viper a little bit ahead when it comes to denies, Wind Ranger a little bit ahead when it comes to last hits. And Leviathan making a little rotation, a little change to how they're laning as they realize it's not really working out for them. They're electing to put their Troll Warlord in the jungle and allowing him to farm up. One of the advantages of Troll is pretty much there's no way to shut him down, as he can just, well, hop into the jungle and farm up and get himself back into the game. So we're going to see a little bit of that going on right now. Jenkins playing quite aggressive here on Tavo, who has popped the Firefly and is under the tower. But looks like Jenkins actually came out quite a bit ahead there in terms of that exchange. So, like I said, Jenkins, he's a little bit of a crazy player, but obviously calculating that a little bit better than his opponent, and coming out a little bit ahead there. So Tavo not dominating in this lane as much as you would expect. He's actually behind in CS as well, 16-8 for the Clockwork, 10-2 for the Bat Rider. So Jenkins doing a terrific job in this off lane, outplaying Tavo thus far. Mid lane, dead even still, but if we take a look at the top lane, our top farmer in the game, Luna, at 26-8. So 40R quite a bit ahead of the Troll Warlord, who has elected to jump into the jungle. Shredder at 10-1 CS. So Pain Gaming definitely ahead thus far in the early laning phase, but not winning that bottom lane, which you would expect them to. As, well, Jenkins just doing a phenomenal job on that Clockwork. Well, we haven't seen any rotations yet coming out from any of the supports, though. Furthest we've seen them venture is to the top rune. But when you have a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, that's one of the things that it does do, is it locks up the supports so they're not really able to move around all too much. And that's actually quite significant when you've got a Spirit Breaker on your side. Is, well, if he's not able to charge around and kind of put that pressure in those other lanes, what's the real value in having him on your side? One thing that they actually do have going for them is the fact that they're able to throw Shredder into the jungle and allow Nusham to get a little bit of solo XP on the Spirit Breaker. And that means Spirit Breaker gets pretty much everything that he needs, because he just needs XP, XP, XP. He needs to get those levels under his belt. And having him sit up there is going to allow them to do so. We do have a TP from Jenkins up to the top lane. He's going to use that hook shot onto 40R. And Nusham actually canceled his charge there for a second, but they will still get the first blood. There was a TP coming in from Baga, and King RD was close, but they just weren't able to get there in time. So good rotations from Jenkins, TPing up into that top lane, using that hook shot as soon as he hit 6, and allowing them to get the kill there onto 40R. Like I said, he was our top farmer in the game, and a kill on him was absolutely huge for Leviathan. So Leviathan may have fallen behind a little bit in the laning stage, but with that kill, they definitely brought themselves right back on in it. And now they'll just kind of go back to continuing to farm in their lanes. As, we haven't seen anyone move from the mid lane, but Jenkins has made his way all the way back down to the bottom lane, where he's picked up an Invis rune. And he's just kind of stalking Tavo here, who's doing a little bit of farming in the jungle, but he actually is taking a little bit of damage from the Firefly as he walks back through it. He is waiting for Nusham to charge on in with the Spirit Breaker, as he's eventually coming, but he's a long ways away. He just crossed over mid lane now. Jenkins will actually initiate onto Tavo. They're not even going to need Nusham, who just about gets there in time, as it was a nice combination of skills. As over down by the bottom rune, Shibby used that power shot to assist in getting the damage onto Tavo. So another great play coming out from Team Leviathan. But Pain taking advantage of the fact that they have rotated some heroes away from the top lane, as they're going to start pushing and putting some pressure on this tier 1 tower. Nusham is charging in to the top lane onto King RD. Flying Zebra coming in from the side. They may be able to initiate here. Jenkins also TP'd on up. Shredder coming out of the jungle. It's going to be a 4v3, but I don't think they're going to be able to lock down any heroes from Pain Gaming before they're able to retreat to their tower. Jenkins says, you know what, I'm just going to dive past this tower, and then he thinks better of it, and he'll back away. So Leviathan, unfortunately, committing 4 heroes to that, but not able to get a kill. They didn't lose any heroes, so they had that going for them, but I think they were hoping to potentially get a pick off there. If Jenkins had hookshot available to them, that would have been huge. But unfortunately, they had just used it to get the kill onto Tavo in the bottom lane. But he will use it now, jumping on it onto Baga, and that will get them the kill. Nusham charging onto King RD, but he'll think better of it and back away. But Leviathan making some really strong rotations here and find themselves ahead 3-0 in this game thus far.
And it's off.
So Pain Gaming unfortunately find themselves behind. Once again, starting off a game, and unfortunately I just missed another kill on the bottom lane as Shibby got a kill onto Tavo. Tavo not off to a great start. He's been struggling a little bit this game, losing the lane in a lane that frankly I think he should have won. And then on top of that, he's been picked off a few times. I believe that's the second time. Yeah, the second time he's died this game. As Shibby picked up a double damage and made a rotation down there, and I didn't see how it initiated, but I'm guessing he got the shackle shot off onto the Bat Rider, locked him down, and then was able to just right-click him down with that ridiculous increase of damage that double damage provides. Flying Zebra and Jenkins. I thought they were both maybe making a rotation to the bottom lane, but nope. Flying Zebra is just going to come and soak a little bit of the mid lane XP as Jenkins was actually rotating away, but it looks like he's going to walk all the way back to the fountain here just to replenish his bottle, as it was empty and he doesn't really have enough mana to really get anything done, as you pretty much need your whole mana pool to get full use out of your hero on the clockwork. But he will TP down into the bottom lane, where Shibby has just been sitting here farming up a little bit. 40R was down here as well. I'm not sure if they know that King RD is below the tower. Apparently they do, as it just got pinged out by Shibby, so they know that he's there. They will follow with the shackle shot, followed up by the hook shot and the cogs. Nusham does charge on in onto King RD, does use the Nether Strike, but they may just choose to back away here as Viper has TP'd on in. Unfortunately, Nusham has committed, so he's going to take a fall. But it is a 1-for-1 trade, but definitely a favorable trade for Leviathan, as they got the kill on the Luna and just lost one of their supports for it. So definitely the kind of trade that if you have to take, you definitely would take. While all that was going on, Flying Zebra getting some much needed farm in this mid lane. He only got 9 CS, probably 10. No, unfortunately he missed that last hit there. But 9 CS for Vengeful Spirit is absolutely huge 10 minutes into the game. You'll take that any day of the week if you can get it. And we'll take a look at the net worth and see just how far ahead Leviathan is right now, as Shibby is leading the way at 4,900 net worth. Second is the Viper at 4,800, so not that far behind. as you would expect. The Wind Ranger and the Viper pretty much dead even, despite the fact that Chibi made some rotation, and he has been a part of 3 kills.
You're not going anywhere.
Viper only been a part of 1. But nice shackle coming through, tying down Tavo there, allowing them to get the kill onto the tower without having to worry about the Bat Rider trying to deny it.
Incoming!
But if you take another look at the net worth, you can see the difference in the sports. But never mind that, as we have a hook shot coming on in from Jenkins, and then a charge from the Spirit Breaker, and even a little bit of a bash there, and another strike used by Nusham, as they're going to get another kill onto the Viper. So that's going to be 6 kills for Leviathan. They are playing absolutely phenomenally right now, and you can see the difference, as you can see this the net worth on the supports right now. 2,500 for the Spirit Breaker, 1,700 for the Vengeful Spirit, and you compare that and contrast it with the support heroes on Pain Gaming. You've only got 1,500 on the Lena and only 1,000 on the Lion. So quite behind, and typically when you fall behind in the early game, that difference is really felt on the supports. Jenkins stalking 40R, Nusham with the charge, and he needs to be able to make sure they get away from that creep wave. And nice 2-man Earth Spike coming out from Baga, keeping 40R alive there. And Jenkins was, I thought he was going to lay down the cogs, and then I was saying they needed to stay away from that neutral camp, because battery assault would have been doing some damage to them. It looks like Pain Game is going to get a return kill here, as they're going to get a kill onto Wind Ranger. So that's their 2nd kill of the game. So they are getting themselves back on into this. But while that's going on, Shredder and Flying Zebra have made their way into the Roche pit, and this is one of the advantages of not only being the dire side, but having Troll on your side. And pair that with a Vengeful Spirit, that means you can take Roche incredibly early on into the game and do it pretty quickly. And we're going to see Leviathan take Roche here and get an Aegis up on Shredder. And it doesn't look like Pain Gaming is even aware that this is going on, let alone able to put themselves in a position to contest it. And on the back of that Roche kill, we actually have Flying Zebra finishing a Medallion of Courage. So had he had that, it would have even been a faster kill, but he completes it on the kill with that a little bit of extra gold they get for killing Roche. Nusham taking the opportunity to farm up in the top lane. Looks like he's going to be going after an urn, and I believe the recipe's flying in with the courier right now, so he has that completed to go with his treads. Chibi has gone with the phase boots, also a magic wand, which he's put in his stash. Interesting. But he's also got a point booster and Ogre Club and 1,100 gold, so just about 900 gold away from finishing an Egg Scepter. Flying Zebra, we just mentioned, picked up that medallion. Jenkins has his phase boots and a bracer and a magic wand. So then 1,700 gold on hand as well. Interesting what he's saving it for. Okay, so he is just going to go for a blade mail, maybe just buying a little bit of time to decide what he's going to go for. He actually will sell the chainmail and buy a TP, as he realized. Probably better to have the TP on himself there. But we are going to have a hook shot onto 40R in the bottom lane. Baga was hiding in behind, so he's going to be there to try to keep his Luna alive. Unfortunately, he's not able to do so. But maybe they'll be able to get a return kill here, as I think Jenkins will take a fall. But the Light Strike Array is off the mark. And now Jenkins will try to run away. Nusham charges on in. Will they look to turn this around? Nusham uses the Nether Strike onto King RD. And maybe he's gone a little bit too deep here. There is a Laguna available. They don't have Finger available to them. Laguna will come out onto Nusham. Baga, unfortunately, not 6 yet, and he'll go down. So we will lose the Spirit Breaker and the Lion, but we also lose the Vengeful Spirit. So it looks like Leviathan has gone maybe a little bit too far. But in the end, it is a 2-for-2 trade. I think Jenkins will be able to get on out of there safely, and he will. So it is a 2-for-2 trade. Leviathan, once again, coming out a little bit ahead. They did lose 2 supports for a kill on a support, but also a kill once again on that Luna, as they've managed to drop her 3 times so far this game. And she's been farming well. She's at 88 CS, not the highest. It's definitely not setting any records, but doing quite well in terms of farm. But with 3 deaths, it really sets her back every single time. And not only does she lose the gold, but on top of that, she also loses that much valuable, or that very, very valuable farm time. Jenkins will bottle up a bounty rune and make his way to the bottom lane. but no one's down there, so maybe he's gonna walk away and go try to find a kill somewhere else. He will get pinged out. An observer ward for the Radiant side will spot him. But Leviathan just taking complete control of this map. They've been the ones moving around. Pain's been there. They've been making those rotations. Unfortunately, they've just been a little bit late. Jenkins threw out the hook shot there. Unfortunately, it was off the mark. Wasn't able to catch 40R, but it shows just how much Leviathan values that pressure on the Luna. But that hook shot was spotted by this observer ward, so they did know that the Luna was there. Unfortunately, because they saw that hook shot missed, they know that that observer ward is there. So expect that to get counter warded relatively soon. However, Leviathan will now try and take the stack. So it is just a double, but they'll definitely appreciate the extra gold on Shredder. But Pain's not going to let it go as Tavo pops the Firefly and looks like he's going to try to engage. Shackle Shot will find him. Nusham with the charge and the Nether Strike means that they're going to get a kill onto the Bat Rider. Nice swap coming out from Flying Zebra. Will keep the Spirit Breaker alive. Unfortunately, we do lose Flying Zebra. And Shibby with the power shot won't land on a target. So it is once again a 1-for-1, but Leviathan, again, coming out ahead in this trade. Support for an offlaner. And it seems like they're just always coming ahead. Every single one of these engagements, they're coming out ahead. It's only slight. You know, they are trades, and they're trades that are kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe lateral. I don't know. It's
Boom, there it
a
goes.
1-for-1 trade, so you're not really coming out ahead in terms of kills, and you're not really coming out ahead in terms of gold for a kill either. But you're coming out ahead in terms of valuable kills on the target. You're limiting how much that dead hero is going to be able to farm, and of course that's going to be more valuable on a hero that's going to be farming more than a support would be. Jenkins and Nusham sitting in the bottom. They've been a pretty
Bottom tower
pretty
is
strong
under
duo
attack.
working together here, getting a bunch of kills. Jenkins typically spotting out the opponent. Nusham charging on in, giving him vision.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And then they
Radiant's
haven't
bottom tower is under attack.
had to link up the timing
Radiant's
exactly
bottom tower
too many
has
times this
fallen.
game, but they have in the few chances where they needed it. So good
Dire's
play coming
middle
up from the
tower
two of
is
them.
under attack.
Flying Zebra had that incredible swap last fight as well to keep Nusham alive. So everyone on Leviathan's been playing unreal. Jenkins will jump onto King RD. Looks like they're going to get the kill there,
Radiant's
but
bottom
they
tower
will both
is
get
under
stunned
attack.
up as Baga lands a nice finger, but they're
Dire's
even going to
middle
use a
tower
lasso
is under
there as
attack.
Jenkins was TPing away, and it looks like they're
Radiant's
weren't going to
bottom
need it
tower has
anyways, as they're going to get another kill into Flying Zebra. Nusham will just charge away to the creeps in the mid lane. He actually canceled that. Oh no, he didn't cancel it. The creep died, so he had nowhere else to charge to. As it looks like Tavo is going to be able to catch him with that Blink Dagger. Nusham will throw out the Nether Strike, just giving him a little bit of time for Shibby to TP on in. But that's the first part of this game that's really looked well for Pain
Dire's
Gaming,
middle
as they
tower
managed
is
to pick
under
up a
attack.
triple kill. All those
Dire's
kills go on the
structures are
Viper,
fortified.
but they'll definitely welcome that, as that
Dire's
changes the
middle
game a little
tower
bit for
has
them. About
fallen.
800 gold goes their way, 765 XP as well. So they'll take it. We haven't actually looked at the gold graph thus far, but you can see it's been Leviathan pretty much all game long. Pain Gaming did have the advantage in the laning phase. But since then, Leviathan, just with the superior rotations, have kind of pulled out ahead to almost 7,000 gold lead. But since that last little fight where Pain Gaming got the triple kill, it's come back a little bit, closer to about 5k now, still in favor of Leviathan. As for XP, well, it's almost back to even with that last fight. So Pain narrowing the gap between these two teams, is they fell behind a little bit in that early to mid game transition, but looking to get themselves back in this game. As for, we're gonna have a hook shot. We can't even look at the items. Jenkins gonna jump on in, gonna get that trap off onto the Viper, as they want to get the kill on him. He's got 7-1-1 record. I'm not sure what his streak is, but it's got to be pretty big, as I think the first time he died was relatively early on into this game. He will get caught with a shackle shot, but not to a tree. It's going to get caught to Tavo, and they will get the kill onto the Viper. He wasn't on an unstoppable streak, so 566 bonus gold to get the kill on him. Tavo will blink on in, get the lasso off onto Shibby, and they're going to use a bunch of ultimates there. I don't think the Laguna was necessary, as it looks like the Eclipse was going to be able to secure that kill for them, but King RD threw out that Laguna and did get them the kill onto Shibby, but you know what? When you're behind a little bit, you need to make sure that you get those kills, so you know, call it maybe a little bit of overkill, but it's better to overkill than to miss a kill. Either way, let's bring up the item chart here so you can get a better idea of what everyone's got. I know I haven't been able to cover them as much as I'd like to, but we've got Tranquils on the Lion. We've got a Blink Dagger, Tranquils, and a Force Staff onto the Bat Rider. The Lena looks like she's almost done her Yules. Oh, actually, it's going to be a Force Staff instead. Never mind. So she's going to be going for a Force Staff. Okay. Now, that'll help against the Clockwork with the Cogs. The Luna has the Helm of the Dominator, the Yasha, and 1,000 gold on hand. She's going to get a little bit more here by farming up the Ancients. And soon on the Viper has not only an Egg Scepter, but his first item, the mech. He's got that as well, and he's got Band of Elven Skin, so probably building a Yasha and working towards a Manta for that. As for the Dire side, Flying Zebra, he's got still just that medallion, but 1,000 gold on hand. And we actually just see King RD finish the Force Staff there, and we're even going to pick up a gem on Vaga. He doesn't have it on himself yet, but interesting. At Pain Gaming choosing to go after a gem here to get a little bit more of the map control back in their favor. New Sham has Treads, Urn, and an Ogre Club. Looks like he's going to be going for, I'm guessing, a BKB as his first item. Shibby has obviously completed that Egg Scepter quite some time ago, but he's also gone with a Chrysalis, so getting some crit under his belt. And he's also, of course, got his bottle. Shredder on the Troll Warlord, farming up some Ancients here. He's got an S&Y, Helm of the Dominator, an Ogre Club as well, so probably going for a BKB as well. And Jenkins has finished that Blade Mail, also picked up a Force Staff, and has a Haste bottle up, so expect him to look to get something done here, but not too sure what he's going to go for his next item. Seen a lot of Clockworks experimenting with Yule Scepters recently, as of course Yule's is largely considered a ridiculously strong item, as pretty much everyone's picking them up now, and as a Clockwork, it's a pretty damn good item to pick up as well. So maybe he'll elect to go with that. Maybe he'll elect to go with a BKB to kind of protect himself against all this magical damage. But either way, I imagine it's going to be an even another defensive item going his way. Leviathan will smoke up, hop on into the Roche Pit, where Shredder will once again chew through that Roche so quickly with the minus armor coming out from Flying Zebra. Of course, the Wave of Terror combined with the Medallion of Courage means Roche drops incredibly quickly. So Shredder will get that Aegis. And we have Pain Gaming making a movement up towards this top tier 1 tower. I think they knew that most likely Roche was gonna die to Leviathan there, so going for a trade there. They will take the tier 1 tower. Oh my goodness, Jenkins somehow doesn't land that hook shot. It just went through the middle of everyone. Unfortunately not finding a target there. I think his team was maybe a little bit far away, so maybe that's actually a little bit better for him that he missed that, as I think he probably would have fallen there. But unfortunately did just miss those targets. But the gem has been passed over to Tavo, as we typically see... excuse me, sorry. As we typically see Bat Rider doing a lot of the counter warding. He's not doing any right now, just kind of farming up in the jungle. Looks like he's going to be going after a BKB as well. And he's farming everything. He's farming the jungle, he's farming the bottom lane. The one thing he isn't farming is this camp, because mud golems are just a pain when you're playing a Bat Rider, especially when you have to abandon your off lane pretty early on into the game. You hop into the jungle and it seems like everything's mud golems. But we're well past that mark, and he doesn't really need the gold all that desperately. He's got his
Dire's
blink,
bottom
he's got his
tower
force
is under
staff. The
attack.
BKB would definitely be very, very nice, but
Dire's
definitely
structures are
not
fortified.
not 100% necessary right now.
Dire's
Jenkins,
bottom
once
tower is
again in
under
Viz, it
attack.
seems like he's gotten every single rune this game. He's constantly with a rune, so great play coming out from him, and great play coming out from Leviathan to have control of the map, to allow them to basically always have a rune for Jenkins, allowing him to pretty much do whatever he wants, and continue with that aggressive playstyle that he always tends to go with. Shibby just delivered his Daedalus, and they will get a tier 2 tower that will go to Shibby as well. Tavo has popped the Firefly. I'm looking to see if he's going to engage here, but looks like Pain didn't see an opportunity there, and we're not going to have a battle at all, as everyone will just kind of back away. As Leviathan moving as 5, they're going to go up past the top rune and loop right on back to the top lane, where we've got a charge coming out from Nusham onto King RD, but he was far enough away that they chose to just kind of cancel it. And now they're going to look to pressure this tier 2 tower, and you take a look at Pain Gaming. They're not coming to defend, they're moving completely away from that tier 2 tower as it's gone down. Now they're respecting the fact that there may potentially be a push onto the high ground, as Leviathan looks like they're going to not choose to go for that right now, as they're going to just move away. They do have that Aegis still, and I think we just got the message saying that it was 2 minutes till that Aegis was about to expire. Flying Zebra about 200 gold away from completing his Force Staff. Huge item pickup for a Vengeful Spirit. Of course, that allows you to swap the target, getting lassoed from the Bat Rider, and then Force Staff yourself to safety. It allows you to do a whole bunch of things with regards to Clockwork's cogs. It allows you to just swap an enemy target and Force Staff yourself back. It allows you to Force Staff an opponent in. It allows you to do so many things. So with Flying Zebra able to pick that up, that's going to allow them another way of just kind of forcing the positioning from Pain Gaming. They've already got the Clockwork that can do that with the cogs. To some extent, Spirit Breaker can also zone heroes kind of in the back of the fight, or at least draw their attention away from a certain area. And that's a little bit of a different way of zoning, but it is zoning nonetheless. And when you look at Pain's roster, you think, well, you know, Bat Rider, he's kind of the king of doing that, but we haven't seen that thus far. We haven't seen Tavo really able to jump on in, get some good lassos, and pull any of these heroes on the Leviathan side way out of position. And that isn't so much a shot at Tavo and him not being able to do it. It's more so just kind of amplifying how well Leviathan's been playing positionally. They haven't put themselves in a position to get picked off, or at least if they've been out of position, they haven't been out of position in a location where the Bat Rider is going to be able to capitalize on it. And that is possible. You know, you do have a general idea of where the Bat Rider is going to be, even if you don't have vision of him, and that's part of the trick of playing Bat Riders, to make sure that your opponent doesn't know. They most likely know where the initiation from the Bat Rider is going to come from. You have an idea of that, and of course, with Jenkins being a big Pudge player, he knows all about where kind of you can initiate from, and where those areas with the map and with the tree layout can allow you to get close to your opponent. And they're definitely taking advantage of a little bit of that knowledge and just playing around the fact that the Bat Rider needs to use those trees to get a little bit closer to him, because he's not going to be able to pretty much just run up to his opponent and then blink, as they're going to be able to have enough vision. And if you notice, they actually haven't been doing too much around nighttime going up against Pain Gaming, and part of that is just because of the night vision. Of course, Luna has ridiculous night vision, so you typically don't want to do too much against Luna at night, because she can see a lot, and typically that's going to give the advantage to the team with the Luna. Jenkins farming up the neutral camps, but Tavo and King RD were just above him. He thought that they maybe went up there, but they had just backed straight in the lane, so unfortunately they missed a potential kill opportunity there, as both of them are going to TP on a way back to the safety of their base. And the safety of, well, just put themselves in the middle of all their teammates there. Let's quickly cycle through all the items. We still have that gem. This time it's on Baga, so it has been passed around a little bit. Tavo has picked up the recipe for his BKB, but doesn't have his mithril hammer yet, so he's getting close to it. 930 gold on hand. As for the Lena, she did pick up the Force Staff, but she also picked up the Yule Scepter, so she went with both. We've got... What does our Luna have thus far? BKB and the Manta, or sorry, not the Manta, the Asha. So hasn't finished the Manta yet, but expect that to be the next item pickup, as we just saw an ultimate orb purchased, but then immediately sold. She does have 2,900 gold on hand, so I wonder why she sold that immediately. Maybe saving for buyback? I don't know. Must be saving for buyback, as when she purchases that, her surplus right now is only 1,600, so she technically wouldn't have buyback. Interesting. Soon has since picked up a Yasha since we last checked on in, so working towards, I'm guessing, a Manta as well. We did just lose Tavo up in the top lane to Shibi. I'm not sure how that happened. I guess Shibi just found Tavo trying to farm the dire jungle there and caught him out and punished him for it. Flying Zebra making his way down here to join up with Nusham and Shredder. Nusham has finished the BKB on the Spirit Breaker. Shredder has, well, he's got a boatload of items. He's got the Helm, the S&Y, the BKB, but now he's also picked up a Blink Dagger as well. That's going to allow him to blink in and position himself a little bit better in the team fights. Luna now just picked up the Manta, so wasn't apparently saving for buyback, just wanted to buy it all at once. As looks like we're going to have Pain Gaming have to defend here, as Leviathan has gathered his 5, and looks like they're going to try to push up onto this high ground. They did just force out the glyph, and maybe they'll just completely back away here, as Tavo is going to be respawning on the Bat Rider. They're going to lay down the cogs to make sure that Pain Gaming isn't able to chase them.
And it's off!
And now, well, Leviathan will just kind of back away, go back to farming. Maybe they'll check Roche, as it can be up in about... well, it can be up now, so they've already got their Centaur in there scouting it for them. And it's actually going to spawn really close, really soon for them. So maybe they'll actually look to jump on into Roche Pit. But this time, Pain Gaming knows all what's up, as they've smoked up. They're made their way down here. They're going to check Roche, and they're going to see that he is indeed up. Leviathan just smoked as well, so both teams are smoked, but they don't know that they're smoked. I think Pain Gaming may have seen the smoke go off from Leviathan just as Tavo popped the Firefly, but here we go. We've got the engage, and immediately lose Baga as he gets blown up on that lion. 40R is now in trouble as Nusham's on top of him. He will pop the Eclipse, and that's going to deal a bunch of damage, but 40R is just going to drop too quickly. Leviathan are playing so tight together in these team fights, and Pain Gaming was just kind of on the back foot there. They seemed so separated. And it just worked out for them. Leviathan recognizing that there was a strong opportunity that their opponents had smoked up and ended up around Roche. And Leviathan just kind of did a little bit of a wraparound as they came up around here and then all the way back down around through the jungle. And, well, once again, Leviathan with these rotations just taking advantage of their better positioning and coming out ahead. As we see them ahead 14-9 now, we're going to bring up the gold as well, as it's over 10,000 gold in their favor, almost 12,000 as well now. And XP, not so important 35 minutes into the game, but still largely Leviathan favored past the 5,000 gold or XP mark. But there is a couple pluses coming out here for Pain, as they did just get the BKB from Tavo, and that's going to allow him to jump in and not get CC'd too much. But here we go, Nusham charging on in, will think better of it, and he will cancel the charge, as they're choosing not to engage here. And they will back away, maybe just wait for the next creep wave, as it doesn't look like they're actually going to leave. They'll earn up Shibi, get his HP pull back up. They do have the cheese on him, and they have the Aegis onto Shredder. They'll throw at the shackle shot, and that'll land onto 2 as Viper and Bat are going to get caught in that, and they're just going to jump on in, get the kill onto Viper and also onto the Bat. And oh my goodness, Leviathan just running all over Pain here as Baga's going to go down as well. We have Shredder getting stunned up by the LSA, but 40R having to run into the fountain, and we will have Shredder go down, but of course he has Aegis, so he will just respawn in a second. They had to use a Lagoon to get that, but they even got the kill onto 40R in the fountain. I thought he was actually safe there, so I looked away to see Shredder go down. But the tier 3 goes down, the racks are going down as well. And they will take that bottom set of racks, and they'll move on to the mid set of racks. Lena's made her way all the way up to the top lane here, realizing that they're not going to be able to defend, trying to put a little bit of pressure onto the base. But they're going to go after the tier 2, and GG will get called. So I mentioned that this was going to be a very, very important game, and Leviathan looks like they have taken it. So Pain Gaming will start off 2-0, or 0-2, sorry. Complete opposite of what I said there. 0-2 in the group stage, so they're going to have to have a pretty good performance up against Isurus if they hope to make it into the next round. Leviathan, with this win against Pain, they're going to look to... They pretty much just need to get their win against Isurus, and most likely they're going to be into the next round. However, Isurus could always, change things up. They could beat Leviathan, they could beat Pain, and then they're in that kind of second spot. But either way, we'll have to wait and see how that's going to play out. We do have 2 more games tonight, and both those games are going to include Leviathan, so we will at least have an idea of how well Leviathan is positioned in the group stage by the end of tonight. Of course, we're then just going to have 2 games tomorrow to round out the group. But definitely don't go anywhere, as I believe our next game is Leviathan versus Summoner's Rift. So that should be a good one, as we saw Summoner's Rift in our first game of the night. And, well, they had a pretty dominating performance against Pain, but of course so did Leviathan here. So it could definitely be a good matchup. That's going to start at... I believe 8:30, so about 10 minutes time from now, so we shouldn't have too long of a wait. But I am going to throw it to a different screen, so I can go and grab a drink and kind of rest my voice for a little bit. But if you did enjoy the cast, definitely hit that follow button on twitch.tv/NizCast, and also check out my Twitter and YouTube at NizCast and youtube.com/NizCast, where I'll upload all the VODs and stuff like that. But yeah, we do have 2 more games tonight, so definitely don't go anywhere, as we're going to see Leviathan up against Summoner's Rift, and then Leviathan up against Isurus, as Isurus will be playing their first game of the tournament as our last game of the night. But like I said, I'm going to throw it to music, throw it to the wait screen, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.